So reason one, the iPhone SE of 2022 might be the phone for you is its capability. I've used more premium phones and I've used better phones, but that does not mean that this phone is completely forgetful and it's a waste of time, because it's not. Even in late 2022, early 2023, the capability and presence of this phone is still strong. The design and the form factor is almost a decade old at this point, but it still catches the eye. It has a premium look with, of course, the chamfered edges that everyone loves, a smooth, minimal back with a clean Apple logo right in the center, and a premium feel with the aluminum sides and the glass, making it feel like you're holding a quality, well-made product. Now, the display is probably the worst thing that you can find about this phone or nitpick about this phone. And yes, it is the worst thing that this phone has to offer. It's not the brightest, it's not the fastest, it's not the most highest resolution. And when you talk about it like that, it does make the display seem like it's really trash. I think for the money, for the $429 US you pay for it, screen is appropriate to what you should be getting from an Apple product that is in this price range. And if you're coming from a more premium screen, the screen will not really be a problem after a week. It only takes like a few days to adjust to this screen here. And depending on what phone you have before this screen might even be an upgrade for some people. But the main point being that this screen is not going to burn your eyes, and it's perfectly usable and it's perfectly fine for this price of phone. And the new processor has made this phone pretty much capable for anything that you could need or want to do. My photo editing test with big raw files, that wasn't really an issue. In fact, it heated up less when I was editing raw photos than my more expensive iPhone 13 mini. Video playback for hours and hours, never hiccuped, never stuttered. And social media use is probably one of the best things you can do on this phone. Because the years and years of optimization from app developers, I've noticed that the social media apps, they look really good on this screen and they work really well on this screen as well. Reason number two is the camera experience. This is probably the most simplistic, the most easy to use camera system there is on any phone, really. The photos have that classic iPhone photo look with a noticeable upgrade in the colors and the processing. And with the spec bump that this phone did get, the pictures just have a little more character, they have better processing, and it just leads to a nice balanced, even, not too saturated, not too processed look to the photos. Makes the photos look really nice. Portrait mode this phone has, and you can only use portrait mode for the people. It doesn't work for objects. Video is still amazing, especially at 60 frames a second. And like I've said, the iPhone video is pretty much perfect. It's really just the best video in any camera system out there. And the only negatives, I guess, with the camera is there's no wide angle, so there's only one lens. The standard is not 13, it's 28 millimeters. There's no night mode, and the autofocus is not the best when you're really close to something. Other than that, this camera is really well put together. It works really well. It's easy to use, like I said, and it's functional and a fantastic little camera that's gotten a bit of a quality bump. So reason number three being the minimalistic factor. If you know that you use your phone too much, or if you're just trying to use your phone less and actually just live your life, then this could potentially be a great phone for you. Nowadays, we use our phones all the time, or at least I do. I use my phone about 5 to 6 hours every day, which is pretty bad. And I've noticed that with this smaller screen and this just smaller form factor in general, and not being so robust in terms of features and new fancy things, that I haven't really been impulsively picking up this iPhone SE. I haven't just mindlessly scrolled that much when using this phone. Not because it's a bad phone or, it's unusable. It's just that I have no desire to really use it for no reason other than if I actually need to use it. Which brings me to the point that this phone is small and it's light enough to not feel like a brick in your pocket, but it's capable and reliable enough to actually work when you need to use it. There's wireless charging for the battery, and the battery in general lasts most of the day. And if you are actively not trying to use your phone, then this will make that even better. So that's the last reason. I really want to throw that in there because I noticed that phones that aren't the most robust and the most premium, I only use them when I need to. And this could potentially be that for a lot of people. All in all, the only real substantial negatives that this iPhone SE third generation has is it doesn't have the best display. It's not the brightest, it's not the highest resolution, but it does its job and it's pretty good. There's no ultra wide camera, it's just a standard wide angle camera, which also does its job, which also produces great photos that you can share on social media without editing or anything. And not to mention great video quality, good portrait mode, slow-mo, time-lapse, all those things. They just work. And everything else does live up to that $429 price tag. And of course, there's absolutely better deals on Android for around this price range of $400. But if you're really want to be in the Apple ecosystem and you want that iPhone, but you don't want to pay crazy amounts of money for the newest phones, and you just want something that works, that's reliable, but you don't use it that much, this is honestly a great phone to look at. Everything just works, and it works well. So this iPhone SE 3rd generation, pretty good overall phone.